Implementation of the novel mRNA vaccine technology by Q2 2024, detailed report. Overview. The development and implementation of novel mRNA vaccine technology have been progressing with a projected completion date set for the second quarter of 2024. This initiative encompasses 5 key development stages supported by a significant funding allocation of $10 million dedicated to Phase 2 clinical trials. The advancement of this technology represents a transformative approach in vaccine development and public health readiness. Key development stages. 1. Initial research and development. Timeline, completed in 2023. Activities. This foundational phase focused on optimizing the formulations and delivery mechanisms of the mRNA vaccines. Extensive laboratory testing was conducted to ensure the safety and efficacy of the vaccine components. The results from this phase laid the groundwork for subsequent preclinical trials. 2. Preclinical trials. Timeline, initiated in Q1 2024. Activities, following successful R&D. The vaccine underwent preclinical trials in animal models to evaluate its safety and efficacy. Key objectives included determining the appropriate dosages while monitoring any potential adverse effects. The results from these trials are vital for advancing to human testing. 3. Phase 1 trials. Timeline, expected to begin in Q2 2024. Activities. Phase 1 trials will mark the first tests on human subjects. This stage will primarily focus on assessing the safety and tolerability of the vaccine while also gathering preliminary data on immune responses. The outcomes of these trials will inform the design and implementation of Phase 2 trials. 4. Phase 2 trials. Timeline, planned for late 2024. Contingent on positive Phase 1 results. Funding. A dedicated $10 million funding allocation has been secured for these trials. Activities. Phase 2 trials will involve a larger participant group to assess the vaccine's effectiveness and optimal dosing regimen. Comprehensive safety data will be collected to ensure that the vaccine meets regulatory standards. 5. Regulatory review and approval. Timeline, post-Phase 2 trials. Activities. Upon successful completion of Phase 2 trials, the vaccine will be submitted for regulatory review. This process will involve thorough evaluations by health authorities including the FDA to ensure compliance with established safety and efficacy standards before the vaccine can be authorized for public use. Funding and financial implications. The allocation of $10 million for Phase 2 trials is a critical component of the initiative, facilitating the scaling of clinical trials and ensuring robust data collection and analysis. This investment is expected not only to support the immediate goals of the trials but also to yield significant returns, with projections suggesting a potential $10 million return on investment ROI for Phase 2 trials and even greater returns for subsequent phases. Common themes across sources. The advancement of decentralized clinical trials (DCTs) is highlighted as a transformative approach that can streamline vaccine development processes. The integration of digital technologies and decentralized methodologies is anticipated to enhance patient engagement, improve data collection, and accelerate trial timelines. Research indicates that DCTs can achieve faster enrollment rates and lower costs, making them increasingly appealing to stakeholders in clinical research. Furthermore, there is a strong emphasis on increasing patient diversity in clinical trials. The expectation is that new digital tools will facilitate broader recruitment efforts, thereby improving representation in trial populations. This focus aligns with ongoing initiatives to enhance inclusivity in clinical research. Differences between sources. While there is a consensus on the potential benefits of mRNA technology and DCTs, some sources present varying timelines and focus areas. For example, some experts suggest that the term DCT may become obsolete as these methodologies become standard in clinical trials, while others argue that distinctions between trial types will persist. Additionally, perspectives on the economic implications of DCTs vary, reflecting diverse priorities among stakeholders. Timeline of events: 2023, initial research and funding secured for mRNA vaccine technology. Q1 2024, preclinical trials initiated focusing on safety and efficacy assessments. Q2 2024, Phase 1 trials are set to commence targeting human subjects to gather initial safety and immune response data. Late 2024, progression to Phase 2 trials supported by $10 million in funding, with an emphasis on larger participant groups and comprehensive safety evaluations. Post-2024, regulatory review and potential approval of the mRNA vaccine, paving the way for wider distribution and public health impact. Conclusion: the concerted effort to implement novel mRNA vaccine technology by mid-2024 represents a significant advancement in clinical research underscored by substantial funding, innovative methodologies, and a commitment to diversity in trial participation. As the project progresses through its key development stages, the implications for public health and vaccine accessibility are anticipated to be profound, heralding a new era in preventive medicine and pandemic preparedness. The content provided discusses the implementation of novel mRNA vaccine technology by Q2 2024, emphasizing the 5 key development stages and the financial backing for Phase 2 trials. Here are some counterintuitive insights drawn from the content. 1. Investment and ROI discrepancies. While a $10 million funding allocation for Phase 2 trials is highlighted, the projected return on investment (ROI) appears overly optimistic. The expectation of achieving a $10 million ROI from an equivalent investment seems counterintuitive, considering the inherent risks and uncertainties associated with clinical trials. Typically, the financial returns from such investments are much more complex and can vary widely based on trial outcomes, market conditions, and the competitive landscape. 2. Diversity in clinical trials. The emphasis on patient diversity in clinical trials is commendable, yet the methods for achieving this goal are not straightforward. Digital technologies are expected to facilitate broader recruitment, but reliance on technology alone may not address the underlying systemic barriers that prevent diverse participation. The assumption that increased access through digital means will automatically lead to better representation could underestimate the complexities of socioeconomic factors affecting patient enrollment. 3. Decentralized clinical trials, DCTs, becoming the norm. The notion that DCT methodologies will become mainstream and the acronym DCT will fade into obscurity suggests an oversimplification of the transition process. While there is a push towards integrating these methodologies, the reality involves significant challenges related to regulatory compliance, technology adoption, and stakeholder buy-in. The belief that DCTs will seamlessly integrate into traditional trial structures may overlook the resistance and adaptation required within existing clinical research frameworks. For regulatory review and approval, the timeline suggests a linear progression from trial phases to regulatory approval, which may not reflect the complexities of real-world situations. Regulatory reviews can be unpredictable, and the assumption that successful Phase 2 trials will lead directly to approval could be overly optimistic. Historical precedents indicate that even well-conducted trials can face delays or additional requirements during the regulatory review process. 5. Economic implications of DCTs. While the content suggests that decentralized trials can lead to significant cost reductions and faster enrollment, this perspective may not encompass the full range of economic implications. The initial investment in technology and infrastructure for DCTs can be substantial, and the savings realized may not be immediately apparent. Additionally, the economic benefits touted could vary based on the type of therapy being tested, the patient population, and the specific context of the trial. 6. Patient engagement through digital tools. The assumption that digital tools will inherently enhance patient engagement may not account for varying levels of digital literacy among potential participants. While these technologies can improve access, They may also alienate those who are less comfortable with digital interfaces, thus inadvertently reinforcing existing disparities in trial participation. 7. Emerging AI and quantum computing in trials. The discussion on generative AI and quantum computing suggests a transformative potential that is not universally accepted. The expectation that these technologies will revolutionize clinical trials could be premature, as significant hurdles remain in terms of practical implementation, regulatory acceptance, and the need for robust data ethics frameworks. 8. Cross-industry collaboration for data sharing. The content implies that cross-industry collaboration will significantly enhance data sharing in clinical research. However, this perspective does not sufficiently address the competitive nature of the pharmaceutical industry, where companies may be reluctant to share sensitive data. The assumption that collaboration will become the norm overlooks the entrenched barriers to sharing proprietary information. These counterintuitive insights challenge some of the assumptions made in the original content and highlight the complexities and uncertainties inherent in clinical research, particularly in the context of innovative technologies and methodologies. In examining the report on the implementation of novel mRNA vaccine technology and the associated funding for Phase 2 trials, several crucial points merit attention, particularly those that might be overlooked by the average reader. Here are the significant aspects and their implications. 1. Funding allocation and its impact. The report highlights a $10 million allocation for Phase 2 trials, which is critical for several reasons. First, this funding not only supports the trials but also signifies investor confidence in mRNA technology as a viable solution for vaccine development. Many people may overlook the significance of this funding, viewing it merely as a number without understanding its broader implications. Significance: the ability to secure substantial funding reflects the perceived market potential of the vaccine technology. It also allows for expanded participant recruitment, improved trial design, and enhanced data collection methods. A well-funded trial can lead to faster results and potentially quicker regulatory approvals, which can ultimately translate to earlier access to vaccines for the public. 2. Decentralized clinical trials (DCTs). The report touches upon the integration of decentralized clinical trials (DCTs) and their transformative potential in vaccine development. While many readers may recognize the mention of DCTs, they might not fully appreciate how these methodologies can drastically improve trial efficiency and patient engagement. Significance: DCTs can lead to faster enrollment rates and lower costs, which is particularly important in a time-sensitive context like vaccine development. The ability to recruit a diverse patient population through digital platforms is crucial for the generalizability of trial results. The shift towards DCTs represents a paradigm change in clinical research, emphasizing flexibility, accessibility, and patient-centered approaches that can enhance the quality of data collected. 3. Patient diversity focus. The emphasis on patient diversity in clinical trials is a recurring theme, yet it is often underappreciated. Many may see this as a compliance or ethical obligation rather than a strategic advantage. Significance: including a diverse participant pool ensures that the vaccine's efficacy and safety are assessed across various demographics. This is essential for understanding how different populations respond to the vaccine, which can lead to tailored public health strategies. Moreover, increased representation can enhance trust in public health initiatives, particularly in communities historically underrepresented in clinical research. 4. Regulatory review process. The roadmap outlines a clear path to regulatory review and approval post-Phase 2 trials. While many readers might focus solely on the clinical trial phases, the regulatory aspect is equally critical and often overlooked. Significance: understanding the regulatory landscape and the importance of thorough evaluation by authorities like the FDA is crucial. This process guarantees that vaccines meet stringent safety and efficacy standards before public distribution. The timeline for regulatory review can significantly affect the speed at which vaccines are made available, impacting public health outcomes during critical times. such as pandemics. 5. Economic implications of DCTs. The report hints at significant economic returns from adopting DCT methodologies but does not delve deeply into the specifics. Readers may miss the broader economic implications of DCTs on the pharmaceutical industry and healthcare costs. Significance: the potential for DCTs to generate substantial cost savings estimated at 5 to 13 times the investment for Phase 2 and Phase 3 trials is significant. This could democratize access to cutting-edge treatments and improve overall healthcare efficiency. Moreover, as DCTs become more mainstream, they could reshape the economic landscape of clinical trials, making it more feasible for smaller biotech firms to participate in vaccine development. 6. Return on investment ROI projections. While the report projects a $10 million ROI for Phase 2 trials, the implications of this projection can be easily overlooked. Significance: the projected ROI not only reflects potential financial success for investors but also indicates the broader impact on public health. A successful mRNA vaccine can lead to significant savings in healthcare costs related to disease management and treatment. It can also bolster economic recovery in the wake of health crises, emphasizing the interconnectedness of health and economic stability. 7. Future of mRNA technology beyond COVID-19. The focus on mRNA technology in the context of COVID-19 vaccines may lead readers to overlook its potential applications in other diseases. Significance: the advancements in mRNA technology developed for COVID-19 can pave the way for vaccines targeting other infectious diseases and even cancers. This transformative technology could revolutionize the way vaccines are developed and deployed, leading to faster responses to emerging health threats and potentially more effective treatments for chronic diseases. Conclusion: the report on the mRNA vaccine technology implementation outlines a complex interplay of funding, innovative methodologies, regulatory processes, and economic implications that are critical to the success of vaccine development. By focusing on these often overlooked aspects, stakeholders can better understand the multifaceted nature of clinical trial progression and the broader impact on public health. Recognizing these points is essential for appreciating the significance of advancements in vaccine technology and the future of healthcare innovation. Here are the 4 most valuable points from the content regarding the implementation of novel mRNA vaccine technology and its development stages. 1. 5 key development stages of mRNA vaccine technology. The implementation of mRNA vaccine technology is structured around 5 critical development stages: initial research and development, preclinical trials, Phase 1 trials, Phase 2 trials, and regulatory review and approval. Each stage is designed to systematically assess the safety and efficacy of the vaccine, starting from laboratory optimization to human trials. This structured approach ensures thorough evaluation at every level, minimizing risks and improving the chances of successful vaccine deployment. 2. Financial implications and funding for Phase 2 trials. The initiative has secured $10 million in funding specifically allocated for Phase 2 clinical trials. This financial backing is crucial for scaling the trials and gathering extensive data on vaccine efficacy and safety. The expectation of a significant return on investment ROI underscores the economic viability of mRNA vaccines, highlighting potential financial benefits not just for investors but also for public health systems by accelerating the development of effective vaccines. 3. Impact of decentralized clinical trials, DCTs. The integration of decentralized clinical trials is emphasized as a transformative method in accelerating vaccine development. Sources indicate that DCTs can lead to faster enrollment rates, improved patient engagement, and reduced costs. This shift towards decentralized methodologies not only enhances the efficiency of clinical trials but also improves participant diversity, addressing previous disparities in trial recruitment. The trend towards DCTs is expected to become standard practice, fundamentally changing how clinical trials are conducted. 4. Regulatory review and patient diversity. The regulatory review process is essential for ensuring that the mRNA vaccine meets stringent safety and efficacy standards. The commitment to enhancing patient diversity in clinical trials is also significant, as it fosters better representation in trial populations. This focus on diversity aims to ensure that the vaccine works effectively across different demographics, ultimately contributing to more equitable health outcomes. Regulatory bodies including the FDA are increasingly emphasizing the importance of diversity in clinical research, which will likely shape future trials and approvals. These points encapsulate the critical aspects of the mRNA vaccine technology implementation, highlighting its structured development process, financial backing, innovative trial methodologies, and the importance of regulatory compliance and diversity. Here are 3 famous historical cases that reflect the implementation and development of groundbreaking medical technologies akin to the recent advancements in mRNA vaccine technology. 1. The development of the polio vaccine, 1950s. The development of the polio vaccine is one of the most significant achievements in public health history. In the early 20th century, poliomyelitis was a major health threat, leading to paralysis and death among thousands, particularly children. In 1952, Dr. Jonas Salk developed the first effective polio vaccine using inactivated poliovirus. The vaccine underwent extensive clinical trials, including large-scale trials in 1954 involving over 1 million children, which demonstrated its efficacy and safety. This effort led to the widespread vaccination of children, drastically reducing the incidence of polio in the United States and around the world. The success of the polio vaccine laid the groundwork for future vaccine development and highlighted the importance of rigorous testing and public health initiatives. 2. The Human Genome Project, 1990 to 2003. Launched in 1990, the Human Genome Project was an international scientific research initiative aimed at mapping and understanding all the genes of the human species. This monumental project involved collaboration across various institutions and countries with the goal of sequencing the entire human genome. Completed in 2003, the project provided a comprehensive map of human DNA, revealing insights into genetic diseases and paving the way for advancements in personalized medicine, gene therapy, and biotechnology. The implications of the Human Genome Project extend to the development of targeted therapies and improved understanding of complex diseases, similar to how mRNA technology is set to revolutionize vaccine development. 3. The introduction of antiretroviral therapy for HIV/AIDS, 1990s. Antiretroviral therapy ART emerged in the 1990s as a groundbreaking treatment for HIV/AIDS, transforming the disease from a fatal diagnosis to a manageable chronic condition. Early treatments were limited in effectiveness and often had severe side effects. However, the introduction of combination therapy, particularly the use of protease inhibitors and reverse transcriptase inhibitors, revolutionized HIV treatment. Clinical trials demonstrated the efficacy of these therapies in reducing viral load and improving the quality of life for patients. The success of ART has had profound implications for public health, leading to significant reductions in mortality and transmission rates of HIV. This case parallels the development of mRNA vaccines, showcasing how innovative approaches in medical science can lead to transformative shifts in disease management and prevention. These historical cases illustrate the critical phases of research, development, and implementation of medical technologies, reflecting the potential future impact of mRNA vaccines in combating infectious diseases and advancing public health. Future outlook: predictions for the implementation of novel mRNA vaccine technology by Q2 2024. The anticipated implementation of novel mRNA vaccine technology by Q2 2024 is set to transform the landscape of vaccine development and clinical trials. As we look ahead, several key predictions can be made based on the current trajectory, technological advancements, and emerging methodologies in clinical research. 1. Accelerated adoption of decentralized clinical trials, DCTs. By 2025, Decentralized clinical trials (DCTs) are expected to become the standard operating procedure in vaccine development. The integration of digital technologies will streamline processes, enhance patient engagement, and improve data collection. As evidenced by the initial success of DCTs in recent studies, the ability to conduct trials remotely will reduce costs, improve enrollment rates, and accelerate timelines. The anticipated 200% increase in enrollment speeds and the 50% reduction in costs seen in some DCT implementations will likely encourage more organizations to adopt these methodologies for both mRNA vaccines and broader clinical trials. 2. Enhanced focus on patient diversity and representation. The emphasis on patient diversity in clinical trials will continue to grow, with 2025 expected to see significant improvements in representation among trial participants. Digital tools will facilitate broader patient recruitment, enabling trials to include diverse populations that reflect the demographics of those most affected by diseases. This shift is crucial for ensuring that vaccines are effective across different genetic backgrounds and health conditions, thereby increasing public trust and compliance in vaccination programs. 3. Robust regulatory framework development. As mRNA vaccines move through the development stages, regulatory bodies such as the FDA will likely solidify and publish comprehensive guidance on both DCTs and mRNA technology. By mid-2024, we can anticipate clearer regulations that will streamline the approval process for mRNA vaccines, enhancing their market entry while ensuring safety and efficacy standards. This regulatory clarity will also foster innovation, as companies will be more willing to invest in new therapeutic approaches with a defined pathway to approval. 4. Advanced data analytics and AI integration. The use of artificial intelligence (AI) in clinical trials is set to expand significantly. By 2025, AI will be leveraged not only for data collection but also for real-time analysis and decision-making throughout the trial phases. This will enhance the ability to monitor patient responses, optimize dosing regimens, and identify potential adverse effects more rapidly. AI's role in integrating large datasets from diverse populations will allow for more nuanced insights into vaccine efficacy, particularly across varying demographics. 5. Increased collaboration and data sharing. Cross-industry collaboration will become paramount in the development of mRNA vaccines. Companies will increasingly recognize that no single organization possesses the breadth of data necessary to drive comprehensive insights into vaccine performance. By 2025, we expect to see a rise in partnerships among pharmaceutical companies, academic institutions, and tech firms to pool resources and data for enhanced predictive modeling and clinical outcomes. This collaborative approach will also facilitate faster iterations in vaccine design and deployment. Conclusion. The implementation of novel mRNA vaccine technology by Q2 2024 represents a pivotal moment in the evolution of vaccine development. The projected advancements in DCTs, patient diversity, regulatory frameworks, AI integration, and collaborative efforts will not only expedite the introduction of these vaccines but also improve their effectiveness and acceptance in the general population. As we move towards 2025, the focus will shift towards optimizing these technologies and ensuring that they meet the diverse needs of global health while fostering innovation in clinical trial methodologies.